Richard, what is the goal of the newsletter? What can you expect to find in it?
So the newsletter we've really designed around Hong Kong and how unique Hong Kong is. You know, everyone who lives in Hong Kong here will know that Hong Kong is separately and together a village, a city, an international finance center, the gateway between China and the US and the West, as well as the lightning rod between US and China when it comes to tensions. And it can be all those things at once. And so there's often a lot of different things happening. What we try and do in this weekly newsletter is look at the most interesting things that have happened, analyze them, talk about the most interesting part of them, and then have that as one single product.
So interesting. So we have two correspondents here who contribute to the newsletter in addition to their day jobs covering billionaires and the weather here. I've learned about the typhoon season in real time. Filipe, it's funny. I was the equivalent of Filipe's intern when I first joined Bloomberg more than a decade ago. What are some of the things you've written about? There was one story in particular that really struck me. A spin you had done on the C.K. Hutchinson $19 billion port deal. Where do you spend $19 billion if you're Li Ka-shing?
Well, Sonali, I think that maybe you've seen a lot of opportunities to spend those $19 billion here in Hong Kong. I know it's your first time here. And I think that, as Richard explained, I think our idea with the newsletter is just to bring those topics that are on everyone's minds. Here in Hong Kong is to talk to the city, is to actually give it a spin, give it a different direction for themes that are very familiar to maybe the users of the terminal or someone who uses their information to actually make decisions on a daily basis. In this case specifically, we are just representing a team of reporters that we have within Bloomberg's newsroom, and we are all contributing to the newsletter somehow. We had the chance to actually tell the story of Li Ka-shing, not just of that specific deal that's still in the headlines. We don't have an outcome for that deal yet, so he's not able to spend those $19 billion. We don't know if he will be able to spend that $19 billion or not. But the point is, we just shed some light on the company itself, on the history, on what was behind it, on why was it so important geopolitically, and let's say all of this was done at the same time in a very easy way in your inbox every Thursday. So you're ready to talk about all of this with your friends during the weekend.
And Mary, you don't just report about weather too. What are some of the more interesting things you've written about for the newsletter of late?
Well, there's a lot going on in Hong Kong, right? We're all spending, 10, 12 hours at the office, the finance industry that we're all here representatives of or part of. We're kind of, there are a lot of type A personalities, and we found that actually another thing that our readers really like reading about is another type of type A activity being just heading out to the outdoors, lots of adventures, long hikes, ultra running. We just interviewed two teachers who put together this 100-kilometer trail connecting streams and back trails, just this really adventurous outing that you can do on your weekends to explore these various corners of Hong Kong and kind of just add some spice to the day-to-day life. So that's what we're trying to get across in the newsletter as well.
As a New Yorker, I have to say I'm very jealous. I thought the Hudson River was beautiful until I saw the terrain of Hong Kong. I cut a deal with Richard before this. I said, okay, you have another newsletter coming out tomorrow, but you have to subscribe if you want to hear the secret details. You seem to know some interesting places to find the best food in Hong Kong for the best value, don't you?
Yeah, well, we do. Every week we have a review of a restaurant. Often it's a new one. With the one we're doing tomorrow, one of the big trends that's been happening in Hong Kong is the retail trade obviously has not done very well, and restaurant business is in trouble. We talked to some of the most successful restaurateurs to find out what tactics they've used, to enable them to be successful, where we see others founder.
Out of curiosity, where have you enjoyed eating most?
One of the people we talked to, I enjoy his restaurant a lot.
Yeah, we had the chance to talk to Jared Lee, who is someone who actually went to the office to talk to us, to the Bloomberg office, and we sat down with him. We had a very nice conversation. We have one section within the newsletter called 5 Minutes With, so we can actually bring people in and talk to them and just share it with our audience. Maybe in the typical Bloomberg coverage, we wouldn't have that chance, but this is exactly the space for that.
Bloomberg, largest newsroom in the world, for those who didn't know, and so we are very fast on the news and all the analysis. Richard, what might you get into the newsletter that you wouldn't get in a typical news story here or anywhere?
Well, I mean, one of the advantages you're saying is that we have dozens of reporters in Hong Kong, where other international media have generally pulled back from Hong Kong. We've only expanded. And so we sort of build on the work that all the many stories that get put out about Hong Kong, about China, about all the different businesses, the different stock market stories. And we sort of distill that into what we think the most interesting stories there are there. And I don't think that's something that any other organization has that capacity to do. And with the sort of combined experiences that we have, particularly in Hong Kong, and in the finance industry, that helps inform the writing as well as the decision making when it comes to what we focus on in terms of stories.
Mary, you've been at Bloomberg, I believe, less than a year now.
Yeah.
So how has the newsletter allowed you to report in ways that you might not have been able to see Hong Kong in such a light before?
Well, the weather, which I report on, touches everything. And Hong Kong, I guess, with it being so hot most of the year, people love talking about the weather. Is it raining? Is it dry? But really, it's also just working in the newsletter is a way to stay in touch with the place that I'm living in. As Richard was saying, like, there's just a lot going on in Hong Kong, a lot to think about. And so what we're trying to do is make sure that if you're passing through town, or if you've been away a little bit, or if you're just living here, right, like, you need to figure out what the biggest questions are, what the most interesting things people are talking about are at the dinner party, and then just kind of get that eclecticness across.
Now, it is free. You can sign up. It is great for if you're visiting town. I've got to say, I've been reading it myself. It's great if you've been living here to get to know the city a little better. It's great if you want a dinner conversation or a lunch conversation. Richard, where do you find it? How do you best get involved?
Sorry, how
do you best get involved? Where do you find the newsletter? How can people sign up? And
so there should be, I don't know if there's a QR code, but it's called Hong Kong Edition. It comes out every Thursday, usually roughly in the morning. You can get it delivered. You can subscribe and get it delivered via email. You can also find it on the web. As mentioned, there's no paywall to it, so there's like no real strings attached.
And we need suggestions. We need tips. We need to hear from you guys. We need to know where you want to go. What restaurant have you seen around your neighborhood or the area where you go to the office? That's what we are here for.
And these are the people you need to know.